This is my fiance Jess. She loves Netflix, binge, Stan, anything you can watch while sitting on the couch, as well as honey soy chicken chips. But on this day, we are doing something different. We are doing the Canberra Half Marathon. And before you click away, yes, this video is not about cycling, it's about running. But I think there's a story here that you'll enjoy. And this video is not just about the Canberra Half Marathon, but about what led up to it and also the weekend we had in Canberra. So I was a bit hesitant to make this video because I know that my core audience are cyclists, but I'm hoping that there's something here that you will like watching. I think a lot of things in life can be explained with a Venn diagram. So here we have our diagram of cyclists, and then we've got a small crossover here with runners, and then somewhere in the middle is me, which is all the people who are aspiring triathletes but they can't swim. Anyway, I thought I owed it to you guys just to make a short video about the Canberra Half Marathon because I talked about it at the start of the year as one of the events that I was targeting, and also it's something that's been taking up a bit of my time outside of cycling, so I just wanted to show you into this part of my world. Even if you are a full-time cyclist and you have no interest in running, I think there's some things in this video that you actually might find interesting because there are a lot of crossover of disciplines, and at the end of the day we're doing endurance cardio sports, which is something we can all appreciate. So I hope there's something in this video for you, and if it's not for the running, you may as well stick around to see how bad I look when I run.
Brother,
Just to set the scene a little bit for those who are not from Australia, Canberra is the capital city of Australia and it's about 3 to 4 hours south of Sydney. We left on the absolute worst weather conditions ever. It was pouring rain. We left on a Friday evening because we thought we'd make a weekend out of it. We brought the dogs along with us, packed up the car, and what is a good road trip without a little stop to Hungry Jack's along the way? So here we are eating Hungry Jack's in the car like degenerates. This is definitely the best fueling strategy you can use before a big running event. Highly recommend it, high in sugar, carbs and fat. It's the way to go. Saw some pretty cool things along the way, like this supercar here. There's not many of them in Australia, so it's actually quite rare to see them. And this thing here, which looks like a converted camper van, that Mercedes is definitely trying to draft off it to get some fuel efficiency on their drive, because this camper van was so high off the ground, I think it was 2 times higher than our car. We got to Canberra about 8 PM at night and we were feeling peckish again. Now, as you know me, I'm an elite athlete, so I'm going to be fueling with the best stuff once again. Now, to top off the Hungry Jacks in the afternoon, we got some Detroit style pizza here, which was awesome and really yummy. I had some grand plans of things I'd be doing in Canberra, and one of those things was to do a park run. But when we woke up on Saturday morning, this is what it looked like outside, and it was just terrible weather, so I made the very easy decision to go back to bed. We ended up filling out the rest of the day when it cleared up by going to a farmer's market, going for a short little run around the lake in Canberra, and also walking the dogs. Anyway, you didn't click on this video to watch me eat food and run around a lake. You watched this video to see how I went in the half marathon. So here we are at the starting line. We're in wave B, just behind the 2-hour pace group. Talking a little bit about our race strategy. Our big goal for this event was to do a sub 2-hour half marathon. That equates to a 5-minute 40 pace and gives us a little bit of time to have some water stops along the way. Now I know everyone loves a good chat about equipment choice, so here is a flat lay of what I used. I had a Nike t-shirt, my CL shorts with pockets, I brought 3 SIS gels, and I had my Gel Kayano shoes from Asics. Gel Kayano shoes are a great training shoe. I wouldn't say they're a fantastic race shoe, but I found them pretty comfortable leading up to this event, so I was most comfortable using them for it. Just quickly on the topic of gear choice, this is just something I've noticed, but in cycling, for a sport that we do on the roads, we seem to love wearing really dark colors or earthy tones. That seems to be the vibe and the fashion right now. You don't have to look very far to see PNS, which is mainly all earthy tones and dark kind of colors. And I think a lot of people love wearing black and navy, but running is like completely opposite. People love wearing their high-vis, fluoro, anything that is bright colored. Here's my friend Alex, and his goal every race is to wear as many colors as possible. But I just found it funny that there's a little bit of differences in kind of fashion choices between the two sports. Anyway, back to the race. To reach our goal time of sub 2 hours, we have to do a pace of roughly 5 minutes 40, and off the bat, we were flying. Now, this wasn't too surprising because I know that at the start of events, people have a lot of energy, people are always going to run a little bit faster, but we were going seriously fast. We were doing about 5-minute pace, sometimes even less than that, and the first kilometer we ran at an average about 5:10. Now, what did surprise me was, one, One guy needed to go to the toilet within the first 1.5 kilometers, and at this point we're running past Parliament House, so he ran into a bush and started peeing there. And two, seeing people's gels on the ground, if I drop the Morton gel, I'm going back for that thing. Morton gels are so expensive, there's no way I'm dropping a Morton gel on the ground and just leaving it. The first 14 kilometers of this race was probably the easiest running I've ever done. There was such a great atmosphere, the vibe was just amazing. People around you, all people cheering you on. We had fantastic weather conditions as well. It's about 14 degrees, there's cloud cover, a nice breeze. Every now and then there's a little sprinkling of rain, not enough to make us wet, but enough to cool us down. So we had all the environmental factors going for us. And you can see that in our first 14K, we probably averaged around 5:20 pace, maybe a bit faster, maybe about 5:15 pace, which is quite fast for us. Definitely the fastest we've ever run for this kind of distance. The course was quite nice. I reckon it was pretty flat. There's about 150 meters elevation over the 21 kilometers. But one thing that was a bit odd was there's quite a lot of out and backs. So out and backs do feel a little bit demoralizing sometimes because you're running and the whole time I'm thinking, is it next round, the next corner that I'm gonna do the turnaround? And then at the same time, you see people running back in the other direction and you're just thinking, how far are they ahead of me? So I wasn't too big of a fan of the out and backs. But I'm going to say overall the course was quite nice, and also Canberra is very scenic. Now this was a really big event for my fiance. 6 months ago she decided to take up running, and when we first started she could not even run a kilometer. She'd be gassed by then. So I am super proud of her for making so much progress in such a short time. And I think the thing that has been the best, the thing that I observed that's been the best is she's just self-motivated to go out and do this herself. So sometimes after work, she'll go out and go for a run and she just wants to go out and just improve. So I've been really, really inspired by that. For myself, I've been riding for about 4 years. Cycling has been a big part of my life. So I came into this with quite a lot of base fitness. But one thing that I have found is that running is almost like being on an indoor trainer. What you're doing is you're running at a kind of steady pace. You're just trying not to burn yourself out. Just trying to keep a steady effort that is within what's manageable for your heart rate. Cycling is way different to this because when you're riding in a group especially, there's a lot of surging, there's a lot of speeding up, slowing down, there's drafting behind people. Whenever you go downhill, you're not pedaling, so there's a lot of time that's spent where you're recovering. So I found that the effort in cycling is a lot more up and down, whereas running is a lot more steady. Now, has this impacted my cycling? I really think it has. I think it's improved my just base fitness for cycling, as well as doing some longer duration efforts. Whenever people do long duration events, they talk about hitting a wall. And for us, we kind of hit a wall about 14 kilometers. I gave Jess an extra gel, and I'm going to show you some of our split times here, but you can see that we definitely slowed down at about the 14 kilometer mark. Now, was I ever worried about that we wouldn't reach our time goal? At this point, we were quite far ahead of the 2-hour pace group, so we had quite a lot of time in the bank, but the thing that I was worried about was that we went out too hard and too fast. But with only about 7 kilometers left, I told Jess we've only got 1.5 park runs, let's just finish strong and bring it home. As we drew close to the finish line, even though my joints were a bit sore and my legs were definitely tired, one thing that I couldn't stop thinking about was just this awesome sense of accomplishment. I was looking at my watch and I could see that we were going to finish well ahead of our time goal. And I was just so happy that this is something that we worked together on, that we worked together for a few months to achieve, and we're about to achieve it. People talk about a runner's high, which is some like awesome happiness that you feel while you're running. But I think for me, running is a bit more of a type 2 kind of fun, where after the fact, I was like, that was something really awesome. And at the time I'm doing it, I'm not finding it that fun. But in this moment here, as we're running 100 meters towards the finish line, I was just so happy. I'm hoping that one day when we're old and grey, we could turn on this video and look back at the things that we accomplished together when we were young and fit and full of energy and we're happy to eat lots of sugar flavoured gels, and look at the things that we accomplished together when we put our mind and our heart to it. If you stuck around all the way to the end of this video, thank you very much for watching. I know it's something completely different to what I usually video. Also, looking back at this footage, I realized that someone running kind of looks really weird on a GoPro because like the background stays still, but my head is just bobbing up and down. So I think I need to figure out better ways to video the running to make it a bit more interesting, but I hope you enjoyed it. Anyway guys, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.